Hello, and welcome to the Dohyo, where it's time for the September Basho, and the predictions have never been bolder. Santa!
Roll the salt, get in the ring. Welcome to the Dohyo.
Oh my goodness, we have made it past Labor Day. It's now the end of summer. We've hit fall. Pumpkins are spicing, or that is what I am told, and it is time for some more Sumo. It's time for the bold and bolder predictions here on the Dohyo. But first, some Sumo shoutouts. Giving another shout out to my buddies over at fantasybasho.com. They are not only a fantasy basho game, they are also a wonderful column that talks about sumo stuff. They have a Better Know a Wrestler feature. They have this wonderful series of articles about the next Yokozuna. You all should read. I'll link those in the comments. And they had a Reddit post that I will be talking about later, so check out fantasybasho.com. One more Sumo shoutout, a movie called A Normal Life, directed by Jill Coulon. It is about Kyoka Taisei, the Rikishi who just made it back out of Juryo, back into the Makuichi division. It's sort of his tale of coming from Hokkaido, the North Island of Japan, and going to live at his stable and being given his name. And it's a very, very interesting story of what sumo day-to-day life is. I highly recommend you check it out, A Normal Life. So, almost time for the September Basho. Have some thoughts. Now, the first thought I had on this Banzuke was that Terunofuji's all the way up at Mega Shira 1, and that is awesome. But it also got me to thinking, and my friend at Fantasy Basho also thought the same thing, what happens if Terunofuji wins? This would be an unprecedented thing. What do you do in the situation where Mega Shira has won 2 in a row? You can't really make them an Ozeki because he's only had, at this point now, 2 tournaments back in the top division, and an Ozeki run is at least 3 at Sekiwake, supposedly. So the idea of him getting up there with 2 Mega Shira Yusho seems weird and wrong. But it also seems super weird and wrong that someone at Mega Shira could jump up to Ozeki without spending any time in the lower Sanyaku. So that feels weird and wrong. But the Yokozuna standard is supposed to be 2 tournaments, 1 in a row, so shouldn't he be a Yokozuna by then? I'd be real fascinating if he won. Don't think he's going to, but that would be fascinating if he won. Second thought, Kageyaki does not seem to be following the rules of promotion and demotion that other wrestlers seem to be following. Now, my normal rule of thumb for promotion, demotion, and this is a very blunt tool, not at all a surgical instrument, you take the net wins or net losses, and that's the number of ranks they are going to be promoted or demoted based on, depending on how many people above or below can be promoted and demoted based on their record. Yeah, more so than any other wrestler, Kageyaki does not follow this rule. So going back to May 2019, he was a Mega Shira 10 East, ended up going 5 and 10, and instead of the expected, say, 5 rank demotion to Mega Shira 15, he only went down 2.5 ranks to Mega Shira 12. Then, exactly a year ago, he was at Mega Shira 13 East. Ended up getting 6 and 9, and only went down half a rank to 13 West. Then, in November of that same year, so the very next tournament, at 13 West, he ended up going 10 and 5, and I guess to sort of balance things out, he only got bumped up 2 ranks from that. And things seem to be sort of normalizing out for Kageyaki, but now, he was Mega Shira 4 last time, and he got a 5 and 10, and he only got demoted 2.5 ranks this time. So, what's up with Kageyaki? Now, there's a good way and a bad way to think about this. The good way is that Kageyaki is such a fundamentally sound wrestler, you can put him in a lot of places on the Banzuke and he will possibly succeed. And the bad way to think about him is that they just don't think about him and then like, oh, he'll fit there. And my third thought for this Basho takes me back to one of my favorite television shows, the historical documentary called Game of Thrones. Now, if you watch this very underrated show, you realize there are 2 sorts of episodes in that show. One is the fire dragons! Crash the catapult! My skin! And those are great episodes. But those are only like 2-3 episodes a season because of budgeting concerns. The other 7 episodes in that season were what we call chess piece episodes. It's where we gotta get all these different characters into their places on the board so that these awesome things can happen. You know the awesome things. It's a dragon! Spear through the hand! Winning! Now, the story of this year of Sumo, as I all the way back on one of my first episodes was saying, was who is our next Yokozuna and who are our next Ozeki going to be? And right now we have 6 wrestlers who I feel could really advance the story of Sumo. We haven't had a lot of advancing of the story this year because Tokushoryu was a wonderful story, but we all pretty much knew that wasn't going to be a repeat. Then Hakuho won, and Hakuho winning is awesome, but it doesn't really advance his story anymore because he's always going to be the best even if he wins more. And then COVID won a tournament, and COVID is a virus and they can't wear a belt. And now Terunofuji has come back from the lower divisions and put himself in the conversation, but he's pushed himself back into the story, so the stories for the people we were thinking at the beginning of the year haven't really moved forward. Asanoyama, yes, has had his Ozeki run, but a lot of people have been thinking he's the next Yokozuna. We have 2 young Ozeki, Asanoyama and Takakeisho. By the end of the year, they could be a Yokozuna, but it has to start this Basho. We gotta start the chess pieces. We have 4 wrestlers who could be Ozeki by the end of the year. Terunofuji, Shodai, Daisho, and Mitakeumi. Now, Mitakeumi could do it this time if he gets like 11, 12, 13 wins. We'll talk about that in the predictions. But those other 3 guys, if they get double-digit wins, or in the case of Terunofuji, pulls out another Yusho or 2, he could be an Ozeki by the end of the year. Now yes, Hakuho could of course win, not this tournament, he's probably going to be out, but Kakuryu could win this tournament, or someone else from the Megashira ranks could come out of nowhere and win. Endo could win the tournament, but I don't think that would advance any of the storylines we've already got going. It would just be sort of an interesting sort of one-off story, much like the Tamawashi Yusho sort of felt, but it wouldn't get us any farther to the real answer to the question. And with that, it's time for my bold and bolder predictions. The first one is, it's medium bold. Both Yokozuna will be out by day 6. Now, there hasn't been an official Kyujo announcement, but Hakuho recently had knee surgery, like double knee surgery, so he's going to be out this tournament. Kakuryu is saying, I feel great and I feel healthy. I'm pretty sure he'll be out by day 6. My bolder prediction is that neither of the Ozeki is going to be in contention on day 15. What? Yep. I don't think Asanoyama or Takakeisho, I think they're both going to get 10 plus wins, but I do not think either of them are going to be in contention on the final day. A bold 3-way parlay. These 3 wrestlers, 3 favorites of mine, Enho, Kota Shoho, and Ichinojo, back up from Juryo. They are all going to get Kachikoshi this tournament. I think they are all at very good ranks for where their skill sets are, and assuming that they are all healthy, Kachikoshi for the 3 of them. Parlay. Next bold prediction. Megashira 6 and former Ozeki Takayasu gets 9 plus wins. It just seems right now everything is coming up Takayasu. He's married, he's got a new baby coming on the way, and he's ready. He's ready to come back. Now, because this tournament I think is going to be a little interesting, and we haven't started with the Kyujos yet, I think Megashira 6 is going to face mostly a full Sanyaku slate. This is because I think both Yokozuna are going to be out, which means there will be fewer people to face in the Sanyaku. And also, we have a lot of the upper Megashira and Sanyaku people in the same stable. Like Endo and Daisho can't face each other, and Terutsuyoshi and Takarafuji and Terunofuji can't face each other. So that math is going to lead to, I think, a very full and robust schedule for Takayasu, where he gets 9 plus wins. My bolder prediction, Takayasu will get more wins than Terunofuji in this tournament. Terunofuji is my prediction for the 8 and out, where he gets his 8th win and immediately goes Kyujo. Terunofuji has a few things going against him this tournament that he didn't have last time. Number 1, there wasn't a whole Basho off ahead of time for him to sort of rest up some of the ouches that he had. Number 2, he doesn't have any lower Megashira to feast on. He is Megashira 1, and he's going to be facing the best from the beginning. And number 3, he's not a surprise anymore. It's not a surprise that he's back up. Everyone's wrestled him now. We have some more footage of him wrestling Makuuchi wrestlers. It's not going to be as much of a surprise when they get into the ring with him this time. They're going to be ready for the Terunofuji machine. So I'm saying Terunofuji's probably going to get 8 wins and out. I have the bold prediction that both Komusubi, Okinoumi, and Endo are going to get Makekoshi. That's not exceptionally bold, but they both have been doing very well in the higher Joy recently and have been holding rank. The bold prediction, all 3 Sekiwake get 10 plus wins. That's right, all 3 Sekiwake. Which leads me into my final bold prediction. Mitakeumi is going to get Ozeki after this tournament with 11 plus wins. bold prediction. It's my third time in a row. Mitakayumi's gonna win the Yusho. I know I've said this for the past 2 Basho, but I really think he's been doing well, and since it's been good luck for him, I hope that this will at least get him good enough luck to get him that Ozeki run that we have been waiting for. I gotta admit, when I started watching, Mitakayumi was not one of my favorites, because when I started watching Sumo, I didn't realize how important and amazing consistency is. He has been out of the Sanyaku only 3 tournaments in the last 3 years. If anyone deserves to be our next Ozeki, it's Mitakayumi. Go get him, buddy. Thank you so much for joining us on our bolder predictions for the September Basho 2020. We do have an episode on Shodai that has already been shot, but the graphics are taking much longer than I thought, and I wanted to get this one filmed and out before the Basho started. So Shodai's coming. Don't worry, you're going to love that Shodai episode. So everyone stay safe, stay healthy, stay strong, enjoy the Basho coming up, and I will see you next time on the Dohyo!